Ladies and gentlemen, Africa is rising, and today we bring you a story that proves it beyond doubt. Ghana, one of West Africa's fastest-growing economies, has just secured a mind-blowing $42 billion crude oil deal with India. Yes, you heard that right, $42 billion. This is not just a deal. This is a game-changer that could reshape Ghana's economic future, boost Africa's energy influence, and strengthen the strategic ties between two powerhouse nations, India and Ghana. In a world where oil drives economies, fuels industries, and secures national development, this partnership is set to make waves globally. So grab a seat, because in this video, we're diving deep into how this historic deal came about, what it means for Ghana, why India is so invested, and how this could spark a new era for Africa's place on the world stage. Let's get into it. To truly understand the weight of this deal, we need to rewind a little. Ghana, though often celebrated for its gold, cocoa, and other natural resources, has quietly been building a reputation as a serious player in oil production. Oil was first discovered in commercial quantities in Ghana in 2007, with the famous Jubilee field off the coast. By 2010, Ghana was already producing crude oil and joining the ranks of oil-exporting countries. Over the years, production has grown, and Ghana has worked hard to strengthen regulations, attract foreign investment, and build the necessary infrastructure. But here's the catch. Developing oil wealth requires huge investments, technology, and reliable partners. That's where international deals like this $42 billion agreement with India come in. On the other side of the equation, we have India, one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. With a population of over 1.4 billion people, India's demand for energy is insatiable. India imports nearly 85% of its crude oil, making it heavily dependent on external suppliers. Traditionally, India has relied on the Middle East for its oil, but as global geopolitics shifts and energy security becomes more critical, India has been diversifying its sources. This is where Africa, and Ghana in particular, becomes a strategic partner. Africa's growing oil production and political will to strengthen trade with Asia make it a perfect match. Now, let's break down the deal itself. Ghana and India have agreed on a $42 billion crude oil trade and investment partnership. But what does that actually mean? Long-term crude supply agreement. Ghana will supply India with millions of barrels of crude oil over several years, ensuring India's energy needs are partly secured from Africa. Investment in infrastructure. India has pledged billions into Ghana's oil infrastructure, including pipelines, storage facilities, and refining capacity. Technology transfer and expertise. Indian oil companies will provide advanced technology and training to Ghanaian engineers and workers, boosting local expertise. Job creation. Thousands of direct and indirect jobs will be created for Ghanaians, particularly in coastal communities near oil fields. Revenue for Ghana. This deal could significantly boost Ghana's GDP, government revenue, and forex reserves. So this is not just about oil leaving Ghana. It's about building capacity, creating jobs, and positioning Ghana as a major energy hub in Africa. The impact of this deal on Ghana cannot be overstated. Let's break it down. Revenue boost. Oil already accounts for nearly 8% of Ghana's GDP, and this deal could push that number higher. Billions of dollars will flow into government coffers. Infrastructure growth. With Indian investment, Ghana will expand its refineries, storage depots, and export terminals. Employment. From construction jobs to skilled oil industry positions, thousands of Ghanaians will benefit. Education and skills transfer. Indian expertise will help train a new generation of Ghanaian oil engineers, geologists, and technicians. Energy security. Ghana will not just export oil. It will strengthen its own energy independence with better refining capabilities. Simply put, this deal could transform Ghana from just an oil producer into a regional oil powerhouse. For India, this is not charity, it's strategy. Here's how India wins. Energy diversification, reducing reliance on the Middle East. Cheaper logistics. West Africa offers shorter and cost-effective routes compared to some suppliers. Long-term security. With a stable partnership, India secures guaranteed oil supplies for decades. Stronger ties with Africa. This deal is also about politics and diplomacy. India wants to deepen ties with Africa as China's influence grows. So India gets more than just oil. it gets a strategic foothold in West Africa. Now, zooming out, what does this mean for the African continent? New trade patterns. Africa is no longer looking only to Europe or America. Partnerships with Asia are rising. Inspiration for others. If Ghana can land a $42 billion deal, other African nations may follow suit. Continental integration. Deals like this align with the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, strengthening intra-African trade. Increased bargaining power. Africa can negotiate better deals globally as demand for its resources grows. This is about Africa taking control of its resources and forging partnerships on its own terms. The deal also has major geopolitical implications. China versus India in Africa. China has long been Africa's biggest partner, but now India is stepping up aggressively. Global oil market shifts. As more deals shift toward Africa, traditional oil giants will need to adjust. Africa rising narrative. The world can no longer ignore Africa's economic and strategic importance. Looking ahead, this deal could set the tone for the next decade. Here's what we might see. Ghana becoming a regional refining hub. India increasing investments not just in oil, but in other sectors like agriculture, tech, and infrastructure. More African nations signing multi-billion-dollar deals with Asian partners. A stronger South-South cooperation model, where developing nations trade directly and benefit mutually. Ladies and gentlemen, this $42 billion crude oil deal between Ghana and India is more than just numbers on paper. It is a bold statement that Africa is ready to do business on a massive scale, that Ghana is ready to lead, and that India is ready to deepen its presence in Africa. For Ghana, it means growth, jobs, and a stronger future. For India, it means energy security and strategic influence. For Africa, it signals a new era of partnerships where the continent can dictate terms and secure the best outcomes for its people. The world is watching, and history is being made right before our eyes. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Africa's biggest deals and developments. This is Eazicho Africa, bringing you the stories that matter for Africa and the world. Stay tuned, and see you in the next one.